Hello, everybody. Welcome to the lecture series on production and costs. This particular video is on the law of variable proportion. And I'm Shrutika, Assistant Professor at SNSB Spec. So, the law of variable proportion examines how output changes when one input is varied while keeping the other inputs constant. So, here we assume that only input changes and the other inputs are constant. And we see how the output changes with the changes in this particular input. So this particular law helps us in understanding productivity and efficiency in the short run. So through the law of variable proportions, we may be able to understand how efficient and how productive the operation is in a short run. So this particular law is relevant to businesses and industries that are operating with fixed amount of resources. So according to the law of variable proportions, we have a few assumptions. The first being at least one input is fixed. So we make sure at least one of the input is fixed. Second, technology will always remain a constant in this law. So we do not uh, assume that technology varies. So technology here will always remain constant. The third assumption is the input being varied will be used in conjunction with a fixed input. So we assume that only one input varies here and that one input will function alongside all the other fixed inputs. So it's not that one variable input would operate separately. All the inputs of, all the units of the variable input are homogeneous. So again, heterogeneity in the variable inputs would have a significant impact on the result. So we assume that all the input units are homogeneous. So explanation to the law. Variable input according to the law of variable proportions refers to the factor that is changed. Say, for example, labor. Fixed input refers to all those factors that remain constant, like land, machinery, etc. So the key idea here is as more units of the variable input are added, the marginal and total output will behave differently. So here we overall assume that as the number of variable inputs increases, as the quantity of variable inputs increases, there is a significant impact on the marginal and total output behavior. So there are several stages to the law. Stage 1 is where increasing returns to variable input. So in this stage, marginal product increases due to the effective utilization of fixed inputs and total product also rises at an increasing rate. In the second stage, diminishing returns to variable output. So here, uh, as in the stage when the marginal product was on a steady increase and now marginal product will start to decrease because there's overutilization of resources. Also, total product will increase at a lesser rate than compared to what happens in stage 1. So the third stage of law of variable proportions is about negative returns to variable input. So in this stage, the marginal product starts to become negative and the total product also begins to decrease due to overutilization of variable input. So in the stage 1, both marginal and total product will increase. In stage 2, marginal product will start to decrease because of resource utilization and the rate of increase of total product will also start to lesser down. So a slope would be attained and in the third stage, both marginal product and total product will drop due to overutilization of resources. So this curve would help us have a better understanding of marginal product. So marginal product, it always attains a peak and then starts to decline. The total product attains a plateau stage before it decreases in stage 3. So in stage 2, total products, like it comes to a standstill. It attains a plateau state before it starts decreasing in the stage 3. So why is there diminishing utility? One, the fixed resources would significantly limit productivity of operations. Two, the overcrowding of variable inputs may also reduce the overall efficiency of the product. 3. When there's an imbalance between the optimal combination of fixed and variable inputs. When the fixed and variable inputs do not work alongside, when there is an imbalance in this structure, this would again have a significant impact on the overall productivity. So why is it important to study the law of variable proportions? One, this law helps us to identify the optimum level of input utilization. Two, this guides us through resource allocation for maximizing productivity. Three, this law is of utmost importance in areas like agricultural practices. Four, the law of variable proportions find relevance in industrial production to determine labor and capital utility. So there are several criticisms and limitations to this law like it is to any other law. This particular law assumes that technology always remains a constant, which is again an unrealistic factor because technology tends to change day after day. This particular law ignores any long run scenario where all inputs become variable. The third, uh, it is not always possible that any input is homogeneous. Due to practical cases, there should be significant heterogeneity in inputs. The fourth assumption being this law cannot account for any external factors like market conditions. So, the law of variable proportion highlights the importance of balanced input utilization. So, the key insight that we arrive out of this law is that when both overuse or underuse of resource has a significant impact on efficiency and productivity. So, efficiency is achieved by understanding the limits of variable outputs. So, only when we understand how much a variable input can vary, how much a variable input can cause a positive impact to the production, we'll be able to make sure the entire production process is efficient and the economy runs positively. Thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you soon with another interesting content.